we're gonna get into how we get up every day, but me too, man. I mean, I get up. I have a blessing and a curse up here. I can't sleep, and when I wake up, my brain is already going
Yeah.
like at light speed. And so today I woke up at before 3:30, and there's no
Oh,
hope to
wow.
go back to bed. I'm just already up and doing stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta
Wh-
give up. Like when you try to go back, this happened to me yesterday. I woke up around 3 and I'm like, no, man, not right now. And then, when you wake up, you can't go back. And so then I came downstairs and it's funny, I clicked on YouTube to just sit down and do like one of these mindful meditation. And then the first thing that actually showed up wasn't meditation. It was like saying, if you get up early, here are the things you do to go back to bed. It was this called the Doctor Sleep, the
Uh-huh.
YouTube as a yata. So I watched some of the things that he does, like the breathing exercises and some of the things that he explains, and I was like, man, maybe next time I can try. But you know what? I mean, I get exactly what you mean. Once the cortisol is up, it's hard to shut it down and go back.
Yeah, yeah. And you probably have a
Look at that!
calendar
Look at
like
that
mine where you
pretty!
just
Look at that pretty picture.
I thought I gotta slide this in the beginning. I gotta introduce. This is your professional photo from where are you 13 here?
I was actually 2 months ago my wedding.
Welcome back to the All In, All On X podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of full arch dentistry, innovation, and the people who are redefining what's possible. Here we go beyond the procedures and into the lives of people shaping full arch dentistry. This isn't just about implants or workflows. It's about the lives we build, the decisions we make under pressure, and the leaders who push this profession forward when no one's watching. Get your head straight, because we're about to go all in. The All In, All In X pod is brought to you by JB Dental Labs, the elite lab trusted by full arch surgeons, prosthodontists, and digital forward practices internationally. JB specializes in precision full arch restorations, zirconia, PMMA, photogrammetry workflows, and fast turnaround times that don't sacrifice quality. JB delivers a truly digital workflow powered by their proprietary online portal for easy case uploads, real-time tracking, and fast streamlined communication. If you're looking for a lab that understands immediate load, passive fit, and the demands of modern all-on-X dentistry, then JB Dental Lab is redefining what a full arch partner can be. Learn more at jbdentallab.com.
It's so funny because I don't do professional as much as it looks like I have a system. I get all these pictures and actually photographers, but this was professionally taken at my wedding. And I was like, man, I don't mind. I like this. I normally don't shave fully, mustache and beard. It's either the beard and the stash or the stash. But then for the wedding, I had to switch it up. And I was like, man, I like this 12-year-old Peyray. Let's
Yeah.
pick that one up for now. So I gave this to you and a couple other places I'm speaking this year to use as a main headshot. So people will be like, "Who is this kid?"
Well, that's awesome, man. You do like you have this ability. I guess we need to talk about your acting ability and what you've done in the past because I picture you're so theatrical. I'm sure you probably had a star role in Brigadoon and Oklahoma and everything else, but you can carry
Yeah,
off so many different looks with your facial hair from
yeah,
age
yeah.
12 to age 40.
I do, man. I have so many series of photos that is like it's a collage of different looks of me, and
Yeah.
it's so funny when you brought it up because when I was going for my hairstylist to do for the wedding, and she's like, "What are you thinking to do for your wedding? How do you want it?" And I said, "I have so many styles." So I gave her these pictures, and she's like, "Oh my God, how are we gonna do this?" So I was like, "Hey, you do your thing, just do what you do." And but no, it's fun. I get bored sometimes. In this day and age, they talk about wear black shirts, Steve Jobs, like things that are so easy, fast, get up and go. But I
Yeah.
kind of feel like it doesn't take that much time to pick different styles every few weeks, few months, and have fun with it. And just I don't see saving 2 minutes, 30 seconds, or something to put on every day wearing the same black T-shirt or something always the same. I like to switch it up.
You
So
pull it off, man. Look at you here
thank
speaking. I
you.
don't know where you're speaking, but man, this I mean, first of all, I couldn't get that much hair in the middle of the top of my head if I had a genie here with a lamp. But
No, this is
uh,
all a product of made in Turkey. If you want, I can give you a good link and a connection that helped me out with the hair. Everybody
yeah,
asks me on
okay.
Instagram every
I'm
now and then.
writing.
They're like,
I'm
"Man,
writing. Give it to me. I want it. I
yeah,
want it.
yeah. No, it's good, man. It makes you it's so easy. It's so fast, the surgery, and they do such a great job because I've done a bunch of research around the States, and I figured they don't do a good enough job here. They charge you a plenty, but it's not even the money you pay. It's that they do not have enough labor and they don't have enough like manpower to sit down and kind of collect these hairs. And it's a process. And then I realized, man, Turkey is the capital of hair transplant, other than teeth, of course, which is very questionable. And we can talk about that debate of out of states getting dental treatment
Yeah.
done. But when it comes to hair, I think as long as you go to a place that they do it day in and out, I think you're safe. This place
I'm,
is
are
perfect.
you being serious? You've been there? Do you have any personal recommendation?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man! I call everybody. It's almost every month. At least I get a couple people ask me about a recommendation, and I tell them the same place. It's called Hair of Istanbul. They're the
Hmm.
one of the best. They only deal with out of Turkish people, like Americans, and out of Turkey, and they do a hotel deal. You go there for 3 days. You have a nurse with you 24/7. They do a whole commute from the airport to a five-star hotel. The clinic looks better than some of the Beverly Hills clinics, the plastic surgery. They know what to do. And so I love my experience because I also stayed a little bit longer just to go over the Mediterranean and
Hmm.
discover Greece and some of the cities in Turkey. So it's a fun little getaway, and then you come back with a full set of hair. What's wrong with that?
Since the minute I met you, you know what I love about you is that you're the only person, probably just more open, wide open, and honest than myself. Like you just completely, whatever you want to talk about today, we'll talk about hair transplants. We'll talk about the dirty side of all on foreign educate. Nothing is
Yes.
off limits with you. I love that
No.
about you.
Everything is open, man. It's a life. We live such a short life. And I think as long as we can keep it open and be so transparent, then we sleep good at night. We wake up knowing who we are, who
Hmm.
is our true identity, not somebody we're trying to be or trying to imposter. Just be yourself. And you are a human. You make mistakes. You wake up and it's a new
Yeah.
day, new you. And so I'm all for it, man. Let's do it.
I'm with you, man. And that's my only contention with, the world and all on four. It's just like, and dentists are no different than the world is like everybody's, people are trying to hide their true selves or they've got agendas or things like that. And, you have to try to figure out who are the real people and who are the deceivers and who are your real friends. And
Yeah.
you always like just lay it out on the table. And I mean, you give everything to your students and your mentees and probably in the
Thank you.
personal world around you, I'm sure.
Yes, I mean, I think I always realize that the more honest you are, the more, as long as you have good intentions, obviously, and the more honest you are, then there are things that is not in your control. There are things that you
Yeah.
can't control. But as long as you know you did your best, you had the best intention of doing it, and you're just a good person, good human, helping each other. Don't lie, don't deceive, and just live a normal, simple life as long as it's, again, with good camaraderie and helping others. I think there are so many powerful things that will come to you from God, from so many superpower that we don't have
Yeah.
any control. And I think, and I'm a true believer, as long as you have faith and good things will come to you. And so just be
Uh,
yourself and just go for it, be yeah.
Amen. And that you just said it, God and faith and believe in yourself. And that just about wraps up this episode of the All In All On X podcast.
It's true. True. It is true, man. We are
That's
so
awesome.
tiny. We are such a little speckles in this in this world and the globe, that if you look at it from the galaxy is that if just all of these 8 billion people are tiny little dots, and
Yeah.
so all we can do is to just be ourselves and do what we can do, and grow, as of course, but also have fun with it, grow and have
Yeah.
fun, because sometimes dentists, unfortunately, we get so caught up into growing, and then we miss these little things, especially like the kids. I think when you have babies, unfortunately, I have not experienced it yet. I'm looking forward to have children of my own.
Yeah.
And I think that's another type of joy and challenge that comes with being a professional, but also a
Yep.
dad, a husband. And so I'm a little late to the game in terms of getting married, but I'm looking forward for that type of a
You're
stage
not
of my life.
you're not late. Let me tell you, how old are you? How old are
I
you?
am I am 30. I will be 39 this
Per-
April.
that's perfect because I told my boys since they were little they weren't allowed to get married till they were 37 because we're all basically dipshits, us guys,
Yeah.
until through our 20s, and I said you have to either be 37 or have $1 million in the bank, and so you're probably got both, I guess. But yeah, kids. I mean, you want to talk?
Yeah.
We just had a baby by surrogacy.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
I'm leaving after this to go see my oldest boy in Wilmington who turned 24 tomorrow. And
Okay.
I've got a 9.5 month at home that we had through a surrogate in
Wow.
Chicago.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That is incredible.
So I can get you
That's
hooked up with
incredible.
all the right channels and all the right people, but it
100%
really
would
happened
love
by
that.
the grace of God. It was a complete accident that we found the clinic we did and the woman that we did, and she's become
Yeah.
a friend. And
That's
I had to
awesome.
go get a retrieval because I had a vasectomy,
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and get that retrieval, and then Allie can't, she's not able to carry right now. So yeah, we had to do like the whole test tube
Sure.
baby thing.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard from a couple of my other colleagues. One periodontist in Pennsylvania had the same thing, and they had a very, very good experience with the surrogacy. And he talked to me about it a couple years back. And yeah, no, I mean, again, that's the next thing on our list of, hopefully, by the grace of God, having another little Peyrays maybe walking around, and have different sets of goals and different challenges,
What would be the plural? Would it be pay raise or pays ray?
Peyrays.
What's the
Pay
plural of the pay raise?
juniors.
Yeah. I hope you get, when you do the surrogacy, I hope you just get triplets. 3 boys look exactly like
Oh
you.
my God, it would be so fun to have. Yeah, that would be the dream. I always picture myself having 4 or 5 kids, because I was like, if you do it, you might as well have a family, just like not
Yeah.
one or two, because what's
Yeah.
the point of, like, I mean, just have a good 4 or 5. But again, I'm a little late to the game, so we'll see how God and how everything works out in terms of
No.
the strength,
Dude,
because I think that I
I'm
think a lot of people
51.
wanted. Yeah, but I mean, still, you don't look 50. You're so young in terms of the everything you do, that again, it's very powerful. And age is just a number. The reason I'm saying I'm late to the game is that I keep hearing people are like, oh, you're 40. Oh, okay. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's a little late, but oh well.
Listen, let them. Who the fuck cares what they think? I mean, you know, a lot of our friends, they started having kids in their 20s, and all of a sudden their kids are 15, and they all look at you like, what's taking you so long? And you watch them struggle and struggle and struggle through their 20s. I mean, I'm basically doing this on both ends. I was in my late
Yeah,
20s, and now I'm 50. And honestly, at first I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. This is a lot.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I tell you what, it's given me a lot of purpose and a lot of hope in life. And I mean, why
Mm,
not? Like my youngest son's going to benefit from a father who actually finally figured himself out,
yeah,
and got a
yeah,
career going and not trying to make it along the way, which,
yeah,
there's a lot of doctors out there listening to this pod, whenever we air it, and they're going to be 25 to 35 with,
yeah.
3 kids under 5 at home.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah. I
lot.
think I think I think it's all it brings a different set of challenges at a different phase of your life, because with that, it's not necessarily just you and your practice, it's also your wife, and how are you gonna work together in order to kind of keep this ship going. And sometimes being so involved with work and the stress of everyday patients and running a practice and this and that, then you slowly start losing sight on what's going on at home, and what is that personal life looks like, and not only yours but also your wife. And I think it's all, I feel like, to me, when I owned my first practice and built my practice at the 29, and then it taught me so much, because that practice to me was like a little baby. And so then I was like, okay, this baby, I need to take care of it. I got to be there. I got to be present. And then I'm not saying I'm comparing that, but in a way, it made me a lot more responsible, accountable, in
Hmm.
order to feel the same way. If you have kids, then you got to be present.
Yeah.
You can't keep wanting to do things for the sometimes I wouldn't call it selfishness. It's just that you want to prove to yourself you could do this and this and this, but then you miss these little moments with your loved ones, and then you come
Right.
back, and now that you've made it, some of the regrets you have is the missing out on some of those parties and things that you were not
Yeah.
not present. But ultimately, again, it's a life we live, we learn, and then the next chapter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pass it on. It was a
Yeah.
challenge for me when I was trying to grow this practice to have kids, such young kids, because I wanted to be in their life. So I'll tell you, it kind of all, I think God brought it all together at the perfect time. I mean, I really didn't start going out there and educating until I was 20 years in practice, but part of
Yeah.
that was because I was the hockey coach and I was the dad and I was at home and I was rushing out of here. I was trying to build a practice behind me,
Yeah.
but at the same time I'm trying to rush home because I'm the coach of a 5:30 hockey practice with a 6-year-old,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So
It is. It
you
is.
at least have got your career under your belt right now. I mean, so wait, let's talk about your practice. Wait, I gotta say, for the sake of formalities, I mean, you need no introduction, but Dr. Peyray,
Thank you.
you are in
Thank you.
Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Correct. Yes, Nashville, Tennessee is the home for me. Home has been Nashville for me since 1999.
If you can place implants but can't scale your practice, this course is for you. Core Business breaks down how to build a 5, 10, 20 arch per month practice, generating millions of dollars of revenue, learning systems, teams, marketing, and leadership. Stop guessing, start scaling. Core Business, how to 5, 10, 20. One time only, April 24 and 25, 2026.
So Nashville, I mean, let me just say, I'm going to be at the AEID in November. Are you going to be
Oh
there?
yeah. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I actually became
All right.
recently became the chair foundation or director of AID foundation.
Great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Look at you
Yeah.
contributing and giving back.
Yeah, yeah. I think AID or and ABOI both do a great job of at least having some sort of a presence in a world of all these specialty, because
Hmm.
to me we need that. We need to have that extra layer of continuum education for the people that are truly want to be
Yeah.
investing into that higher implant education. And so I love it, and I've been involved since the graduation from dental school. I think I was even yeah, no, I think it was right out of dental school graduation, because in dental school I had no intention or any ideas of what implants are or anything. So after graduation is when I joined, and yeah, never looked back.
Yeah. And congratulations on your diplomate status at the
Thank
ABOI.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
I want to we were right before we got interrupted there on the Wi-Fi. You were talking about being in Nashville since '99. I know I've got glimpses of
Yeah.
your life. I think you owned a practice. You went corporate. You got out of that, and are you back private again? Is that the
So it was
take me
kind
through
of
that?
it's something like that. I started in corporate. I started right out of dental school in a affordable dentures and implants location where I became an associate right out of school, and I learned that oh my God, there was this whole part of the America that these people don't even have teeth. And we went to all these dental school to trying to learn how to treat teeth, but these people have no teeth. And
Hmm.
so then I quickly recognized the problem, and I would say the epidemic of having these young people that are losing teeth in a young age, and then and older folks. But the amount of people, the millions and millions of people that live in the best country in the world, and then
Yeah.
yet they don't have teeth. It was just so devastating, and it kind of emotionally gave me this almost obligation, or thinking that, okay, how can I help these people, not just with a piece of plastic, but
Hmm.
how can I help them truly where they can regain some of the functions that was given to them by God, and they were born with it. And now, unfortunately, due to either too much Mountain Dew or too much meth or too much, I don't know
Yeah.
what. I'm not here to judge, but
Yeah.
whatever it is, they are now in this crippled stage, and how can we help them? And then very very quickly I became the number one implant producing associate, or actually person in the whole America, by the amount of implants I was placing in 2014 and 15. So
Hmm.
there were about, back then, about 240 offices. And funny enough, that Nashville was the number one in terms of corporate placing implants. And that was the transition how affordable dentures started getting into implants in that area. I recall Jim Perry, who was the CEO at the time, and then COO. And so he was behind it. And then I got this passion, and I would just been pursued so much in continuing education. Then for some reason, I wasn't able to get that practice and become part of corporate. So then I was like, okay, let me build my own. So I built my own from scratch,
Hmm.
going through the whole shabble of like construction and everything that goes beyond building it. But because I was a general dentist, I kept hearing these people back then is like, you got to have a general dentistry. What are you doing? Then, like, you can't just have a
Yeah.
denture place because you are still a general dentist. And so I felt like, okay, but my passion is really full mouth implants. And so I was like, you know what? Let me start with a general. So I built it in general. And then I wouldn't say I wasted a couple years. We had a couple of general dentists there doing general dentistry, hygiene, and then later I realized, man, I am not a big fan of after even finishing the whole course curriculum, going through $100,000 of investing into continuing education in the pros department, and loving every second of it, going to course to Seattle and making trips and missing office. And then I was like, man, I still am doing a ton of full mouth rehab of crown and bridge and sinus lift and implant here and bridge this and bridge that. I was like, man, I still, there's part of me that is missing. And then I want to do full mouth more. So then I kind of cut off the general part and the dentistry part, or at least the crown and bridge part, for the most part, and then transition to be a complete full mouth implant practice from 2018.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
2019, I was like, well, I need a lab, because all the hard work is just not necessarily like, you know how the process, you always say that is the process what costs you the most, is
Yeah.
that I realized I need to learn how to do a lab. So I built the lab, and then from the lab took on to where I became very efficient and systems and through everything. And then affordable came back and said, hey, we have a new private equity and we want to buy you. And this is a new equity. We want to buy implant practices. And
Hmm.
so I invest the numbers they showed me and everything that looked like. I was like, you know what, this becoming a millionaire at 35 sounded very, very good at the time, and everything. I don't regret it, but I was at the point where I was like, okay, what's next? And if I can be
Hmm.
part of something bigger, and then I could also do my clinical part, because I'm not so really crazy about the admin. And if they can do the payroll, they can do some of the things I don't want to do. And I focus on now just the practice, do what I do, and we can have a good way of going. And unfortunately, the private equities are not like doing too well anymore. So now the numbers are down, things are not going the way they all thought. And so we're like looking back, and now we're like, hey, let's figure this out. How can we renegotiate? Do I want to buy back my practice? Where are
Hmm.
we going? But at the end of the day, I am blessed that I was able to build a no marketing practice with dentist referral only, to where I could quickly open up another office and just have my own referring base just to send me to that practice. So there's a lot of different options I could pursue,
Yeah.
but right now I'm just doing what I promised to do, and I'm rolling with it. It's fun, but there's definitely this is the fourth year I'm with them. There's a 5-year contract, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's tremendous. So you weren't with them from the get-go. You were private practice for what? You've only been with them 4 years. I thought there was a previous stint.
No, no. So, so the affordable dentures are right out of school. I was associated for them.
Yes, that's right.
And
That's
then
right.
I built my own private practice. And then I sold to the new private practice, private equity that they built, which
Yeah.
is Harvest. Because Harvest bought affordable in 2021
Hmm.
for, gosh, 2.4 billion or something. And then so
Right.
there was a time in 22 that the PEs were just going and throwing these numbers at these practices,
Yeah.
buying them in 9, 10, 11, 12 X's. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, 12X, that makes me have to, I mean, if you have, I don't, anyway, so it was the best time. You know how
Yeah.
sometimes you say you're in the right place, everything's working out best, and that's kind of like
Yeah.
how it worked out for me.
Hey, JB Dental Lab is the lab that full arch clinicians trust when precision truly matters. JB combines advanced digital workflows, photogrammetry compatibility, expert design teams, and high strength zirconia to deliver prosthetics that fit, function, and last. Their communication is top tier. Their turnaround times are reliable. Quality is the reason that so many high volume, all on X practices partner with JB Labs. Visit jbdentallab.com for reliable quality, full arch support.
It sounds like you were in the right place at the right time. I was approached, and I ran the numbers with a couple of equity groups and companies. Um, but I did it more, I wasn't really planning to sell. I did it more as market research to, I wanted
Okay,
to see, of course, what the offers were. And they were
sure.
nice. They were nice, but ultimately I feel like I wasn't prepared to work for anybody else. Also,
Yeah.
I know of other people, professionals in different industries where this private equity money has come in, and they want to, even like plumbers, and electricians. And
Yeah.
I sort of was able to follow through other industries what's on the back end if things
Uh-huh.
go wrong.
Yeah.
So I thought, it just wasn't for me at the time. It seems like it worked out for you because of your timing, for sure.
And not only I think timing, but also knowing who I was selling it to, because of my 10 years ago practice,
Right.
knowing the people, knowing that it is kind of like you're buying into almost Apple, where they're not going to go bankrupt, in a way of having, when you have 400 offices and you're getting a piece of that, they may not go exactly bankrupt, but at the same time, for me, what was important is my autonomy, and nobody tell me what to do.
Right.
And I can assure you, up until right now, there's not a single person that tells me you got to do it this way or that way. I still run the office. There's not been a single time that anybody from the private equity has actually been in my practice to see what's going on. So
Yeah.
it's like they kind of, I should say it this way, they bought practices that were already doing great.
Hmm.
And as long as the doctor, here's the key, as long as the doctor was still motivated to stay
Right.
and produce, they
Right.
leave him alone. The
Yeah.
one thing that is the key word, that the doctor is still motivated to work, because a lot of times when people sell, they are not that motivated to work for somebody else, and they
Right.
become a little resistant to change.
Right.
And because of my age, and or I guess because of my flexibility to see, okay, well, you get some and you give some. You got
Hmm.
to do this and that. So I'm okay with that. But again, at the end of the day, they are not clinically involved at all, and they
Hmm.
know they shouldn't, because if I'm running my cruise, my ship the way, then let me
Yeah.
do my thing. Do not bother, because you are going to lose at the end if I change my way to your way.
Right.
um
Well, you're
yeah.
successful. And I think it's a great, refreshing perspective for doctors to hear how being involved in a corporate group can be fun and it can be lucrative for both parties and positive and
Yeah.
optimistic. And I love this perspective. And I think from the doctors I've talked to, and I just had a conversation with Dan a few weeks ago
Yes.
on the pod, but the
Yes.
doctors who sell and they want to get lazy and then they complain that their numbers are down, but they don't want to produce. And those are the offices that the equity groups have to send people into. I
Yeah.
think you haven't had people there because you're doing well, for
Because
sure.
I grew, see, it wasn't even a promise to me. I made a deal, because remember, when you make these deals, and you know this based on the amount of, like, you talk to some people and seeing what they offer you, you can negotiate what you're comfortable with. And if you are not comfortable with what they're offering, then you
Hmm.
don't sell. But to me, I made my deal in a way that as long as I can do what I'm doing, and hey, guess what? I want to grow maybe 6% in on EBITDA. And as
Yeah.
long as I grow 6%, I want to get, for example, $500,000 or $400,000 of capital gains bonus. That's called like an earn out. We call it earn out. And so when I calculate, okay, if they come and I only have to grow 6%, that means three arches more.
Hmm.
And so if I can grow 6% and I get that plus my salary, and then I got my cash in, and then there's equity, it just, it's again, it works. And then guess what? Instead of 6% growth, I'm growing them 15 to 30% every year. I don't
Right.
have to, but it just works out. So now their EBITDA actually grew to 30% from the time I sold, and they're happy. There's, like I said, as long as you just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm working harder to grow. It's just when you become part of the private equity, you notice so much crap that you were spending before, you don't need to. And so they
Hmm.
cut some of that cost down, so it became leaner. I run a very lean practice. For some people that don't know, it's two front desk, two clinical assistants, and two lab techs. Six
Hmm.
people and me. The two
That's
front
beautiful.
desk, two dental assistants, and two lab techs. And it's lean, $3.5 million production,
Hmm.
150 to 200 arches a year. And it is just, that's how I like it. I work 3, 4 days a week. I do other stuff on the side just to have fun with, like, again, the education side. But I was like, it is not a bad deal, because at the
Hmm.
end, guess what? I'm gonna be 40 when this deal is done. Let's just either open a practice,
Hmm.
or I don't know, go to Hollywood and start acting or do something else.
You could definitely do that. Wait, um, did you act as a child? Have you been a thespian
I
before?
honestly, funny is that I was always as this. I'm outgoing, but I was very shy when I
Yeah.
moved to America, because I spoke English as a second language. It was like 10, 11. It took me a minute to not be made fun of some of the words and things that I said in the South. Because, South, it's a lot now. South is diverse. Nashville is different story back than 2000s and early 2000s,
Yeah.
based on all the freaking 9/11 attacks and stuff. All this shit went down. But right now, it's more diverse. But I was very, like, how do you say it, in a way? I was like, not as uh outgoing to, now I am a lot more comfortable, I feel like, with myself. And now that I'm noticing that, hey, I could do this, I could do that. I did singing in dental school for a minute. I would go to Hollywood and LA and record music tracks, and became a little bit of a singer for a few months, until I realized, dude, this whole singing and being an artist is a different world.
Yeah.
And I had my diploma from dental school, graduating, and then I have this art history thing if I want to pursue. And then I noticed, I'm like, let's stick with the dentistry, because I think that's a easier path. than being an artist.
Where can I find you singing? Is there anything on YouTube?
I have some stuff that it's so funny because I've recorded these. Some of them are out, but it's half of them were in Farsi, half of them were in like dance music, party music. I would go to these studios to spend like 14, 15 hours trying to sing. And then I realized, man, it's you got to take singing classes. So then I was like in dental school, fourth year, I would go to this barbershop quartet and taking lesson from singing lessons, and so I'm a curious kid. Like at the end of the day, I love to know what it takes to be good at something. And then when I recognized singing is a lot harder. Well, now, granted, right now singing is not that hard because you everything is synthesized and computerized. You don't have to
Uh-huh.
sing. But back then, I was like, how can I actually make these? Because you got to be a good listener. You got to listen to know if you're on the note or you're up and down and all of this stuff. And I was like, man, this is harder
Yeah. I'm looking to
than I
see if you have
thought.
anything
Yeah.
on your I'm looking to see if you
I
have
haven't.
anything.
I haven't. I haven't. I will love to. I would love to start posting some of those stuff. But no, yet I haven't posted all publicly.
Oh, look at this. This is great. I was
Yeah.
looking for
Yeah.
anything. This is you getting married.
This is me
Phenomenal.
walking down the aisle. I was trying to go with the Eminem song, the 8 Mile, and then
Uh-huh.
kind of keep that vibe. And then as soon as I hit the stage, I was like, let's switch it up to a Persian music, old school. And everybody's like, what the hell is he doing?
That's great, man. You Eminem, I grew up off 8 Mile Road too, only just a couple miles further down 8 Mile.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, 8 Mile to me, especially in the 90s, it was such a, I mean, God, such a great song that
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
I mean,
I
I
want
didn't
to
grow up
play
in
that.
I didn't grow up like that. I mean, I was on the fringe of Detroit, but we used to go down to Detroit all the time and live adventurously. And
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
exactly where that was on 8 Mile, where that trailer
yeah,
park is, where that was filmed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
So, man, you can there's so much to talk about with you being so real. You want to talk about building the lab first because I think you and I
Yeah,
paralleled each other and I think we knew some similar people at the time. I think we went through
yeah.
some of the same headaches. What advice would you give somebody about building a lab right now?
Building a lab. It sounds sounds not that hard when it comes from some of the salespeople. When they say that, hey, buy this package and I got the rest. You just do your thing and you get these many implants. I'll throw in a scanner, I throw in a printer, and then hallelujah, you go. And so then um and we know this by every
I
year
think we have the
changes.
same salesperson, but go ahead.
They all sound and again great people because that's what they're signed up to do. So they're doing their job. One thing that is, and I think it's very important for a lot of dentists before they get into the world of lab is that what is behind the lab, like what are the fundamentals of running a lab. And I think it's very wise to go to people like you, to go to people like, I wouldn't say even me, but I'm saying like some people that have experienced that pain of having to build the lab from scratch,
Mm,
and then figuring out what not to do, what are the things that you don't want to do. And I think for me, because it sounded so easy for me, I
mhm,
just went in thinking that, okay, how much, let's sign this contract. And then I realized, okay, I just make my dental assistant to be my lab tech. I did not know that it takes a lot more. So ultimately speaking, for a lot of folks, because I do believe in this, Adam, and I think you do too, is that the future of dentistry is lab in the office. I think with the way the technology is going, where the AI is headed, I think the next 10 years there's going to be way, way more dentists that are far accomplished in the lab world, having a lab in the office. I think at the end, for me, it came down to the quality of care that I wanted to give. Like I wanted this product that I'm using in the mouth of the patient. Where does it come from? How does it get milled? How does it get printed? Because the thing is, when you don't have a lab, it's easy. You send it out and you don't have to hear back other than just the product is in your hand and it
Yeah.
shipped and now go in. But when you take a scan and an impression, because back then it was impression, and then you're like, oh shit, now how am I going to what is next? So
Hmm.
who's gonna pour this up?
Right.
Me. Who is going to scan it to make it to go digital? Me. Who is gonna actually know? So you hire people that you think that these are lab techs, that they come in and no offense to any lab techs, but unfortunately a lot of them say a lot of things to get hired and they think they know, but when they get into the world of being in office and the pressure of, oh, there's a patient actually here.
Hmm.
I never had to see patients, but now I am. If my thing goes out, I'm gonna hear this in 30 minutes if it's good or bad. So that pressure builds up for a lot of the lab techs that unfortunately are not trained, and it's nothing wrong. But then you train them, you work with them. So I
Right.
guess to make it short, if you do not have the education behind what it takes to have a lab, seek to get that education before you buy into a bunch of implants and a scanner and printer, to
Oh,
where later you
yeah.
realize you do not have those. Yes, you do have bunch of toys, but then it's easy to buy toys. Me and you both know you could go on Amazon, get them the same day, next day shipping. Who is going to use that toy, and how is this toy going to translate in somebody's mouth that they paid you $40,000, and
Yeah.
then they they do not want to come back. They should be
Yeah.
gone. You don't need to see them. So all that pressure, I think if I went to back to do it again, I would learn a lot more before signing things, as opposed to
Yeah.
signing and then realizing, okay, now I'm stuck with
Yeah.
what I bought.
FP1 isn't just a prosthesis, it's a philosophy. Core preservation teaches how to protect bone, soft tissue, and aesthetics while delivering true FP1 full arch outcomes. This is where surgical discipline meets restorative excellence. Core preservation, FP1 done right. One time only in 2026, May 1st and 2nd with Dr. Knife Sonata. Just a few seats left. Register today.
You and I had the same salesperson, I'm pretty sure, with the same company. In fact, we shared some lab techs along the way.
Yeah,
But it's like they convinced me, here, buy the space shuttle, and we'll figure out an astronaut. You'll just be
yeah,
the astronaut for a while. And you're like, oh yeah, I can drive a car. Why can't I drive a space shuttle? It's the same story. And the same goes for business advice too. People say, oh, I'm gonna start marketing for All on Four. What company should I use? I'm like, well, wait. Who's gonna pick up the phone? Who do you have? What are they gonna say?
yeah,
You don't know?
yeah,
Hold on, stop
yeah.
spending money. I mean, it's the same. Everyone's like rushing to get in with these big, thick wallets and deep pockets. And
It's a
I,
hook, if they have these hooks that they hook you, and then you emotionally sell you something to get you out of that pain in the head. But
Mhm.
in the reality, that's just the hook. The work comes from you, from your own data collecting, like you mentioned marketing.
Mhm.
If you don't track what you have currently and where you want to go and who is going to be responsible to keep the track, where's this money going every month? Could
Right.
that money go to somewhere else? Could that money, and unfortunately a lot of people, they don't track marketing and they think that, oh, my marketing sucks. It's not the marketing team, it's the way that the systems that you have to provide in
Yeah.
order for the marketing to also work.
Yeah.
they literally have no systems really at all to speak of. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. I mean, everybody wants to put in implants and do more arches. They don't even think about the pros, on the one end, but then they're really not thinking at all about the business. I mean, that's
Hmm.
why. So this here,
No,
I started
nice.
teaching digital workflow, and while I'm trying to teach clinical skills, I'm constantly inundated with business questions. And
Yes.
most of the time they're asking me marketing questions and advertising questions, and what's your ROI on how much you spend per arch. And they're not, and
Yeah.
unfortunately they're not even thinking about team and culture and seats in the office and systems,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
one of the reasons I developed this was that um is that like I didn't want to get interrupted in my clinical classes all day long with talking about
Yeah.
advertising.
No, you're right. I get mentorship doctors to come to my office, and they watch the systems, and they leave knowing that if I just switch this little thing with that, I can produce 40,000, $50,000 more by just this little switch. I don't have to work, but this is a little switch. And I think, and I've gone through some of those business classes and learning and marketing, is that a lot of it has to do with the leadership of the practice and the culture that you cultivate and give to your people, because they are there to follow your lead. And as a leader, if you are not confident in what you want to deliver and what you want in the system, and you trust somebody to come and tell you, oh, you got to do it this way, but that may be not your way. Maybe you're a shy person, maybe you're reserved, and now you don't want to be this. So then you got to figure out a lot of it from because the thing is that, like you said, doctors are, they want to learn clinical, they want to get implants and stuff, but then they ask you everything that is not related with surgery and implants. They want to know the business and the marketing and how do you go and how do you get these. And so I think there should be more classes like that in a world of full arch, that from doctors being able to showcase what they do in their practices, because again, what works in your practice may not work exactly in mine, and what some of the things that some people are saying could not be the best way to go.
No, for sure. I mean, I love this game. I know you love this game, but the amount of work that it takes to put in every, as you said, you get up and you just kind of have to go every day. Uh, how's your level of energy going? How's your burnout? How's your personal life?
It's hard sometimes. I don't it's a lie if I say some days I'll wake up and I'm not I don't want to say disappointed for the fact that the word is not the right. I'm looking for a word where you are you are not as motivated, right? You're not as motivated because you don't see the results, and you're not that gratifying, that quick dopamine doesn't come, and then you're like, well, shit, I still gotta go. And then you got surgery that you're thinking of, that you got to do this zygo and surgery, and then you got this mentorship that is coming up, that then maybe you need more doctors, that you have the actual patients for them, and then you got my crash course that I'm doing in Dallas. It needs the AVs calling me that they want this and that, and they New York, and then on the end of it is like, oh shoot, I actually, Valentine's coming up, and then I've got my taxes that I've got to pay in April, and now all of my money is in the stock market going down every day. And so when you wake up and you have that, like I was saying, some days waking up at 3 and 4 with all those thoughts in your subconscious, waking up, it's sometimes hard to let go. But I have come to notice, and it happens every time in December and January for me, that if I don't do meditation of just breathing and getting my
Right.
vagus nerve active, and let the parasympathetic take over and the sympathetic to shut down, it's just hard to move on. We are so wired with phones just in our head, and just getting all these feedback and hooks and do this and do this and do this, and you're very behind. So it is hard. I don't sugarcoat it, say, oh yeah, it's easy, I wake up, I have passion, I do it. It's bullshit. Passion only lasts for a second. It's all about systems and consistency. Those
Right.
two things. If you have systems that, hey, there's no negotiation, you're waking up at 5, and that is it. You show up. And the showing up is the hard part, because after showing up, then things are going to roll. It's like right now, for example, me and my Mike, my buddy, he's helping me with everything with my social media, and we just talk about it. Is that he shows me, I'm so nervous, Adam, some days for my for my crash courses are like, oh, I got to present this. Oh, I have this complication that I need to add, and then this and this. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even started. Then he looks at one of my old crash course videos and is like, who is that person? I'm like, That's me. And it's like, look at how confident, look at what you're delivering. You're going to be there. You're going to be fine. And so it's all in our head thinking that, oh, things are going to go south. Things are going to just show
Yeah.
up, do
Yeah.
your thing, and don't be stressed. The
Yeah.
stress comes a lot from being worried and not acting. If you're
Yeah.
actually actively doing something, then slowly you will grow up and you get better. But again, it's not oh, you do it for 2 days and then it
No.
gets rolling. It's a everyday task.
No, you can't just lay down with your head in the sand in the fighting hole, while bullets are flying overhead and not act. I mean, that's like a sure way to be unsuccessful, is sit there and do nothing. But there is that. I agree. There's that negative feeling. I think I've heard it's in the back of the amygdala when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I can't even get out of bed. You're like, today's going to be awful. I'm going to fail. And it's like that. It's human instinct almost to like hunker down, stay home so that you don't go out of the cave and get eaten by the T-Rex outside, right? But again, if you don't go
Yeah.
out to forage, you're gonna die there as well. So you got to drag yourself out of bed. You got to go to work. You got to be optimistic and get it done. And usually, you always nail that zygo or whatever, that pterygoid. It's really, there's
Yeah.
no reason to be fearful of it as long as you're properly trained on what to do. I agree with that completely.
Abs-
Um,
Absolutely.
Hey, let's shift.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something that I have to commend you, brother. So
Thank
you talked openly and honestly about a month ago online about sobriety. I think
Yes.
that is phenomenal. I've been, at this stage of my life, I'm seeing more and more people come out about sobriety, and I think
Mhm.
it's a really important message. I mean, what do you? There's a lot of people listening right now that probably need to hear that message. What do you have to
It
say
would,
about that change in your
you know,
life?
it would, it would be so funny if I had a beer right now and just like, yeah, this is not a beer. This is just a trip. It's our just magnesium. But anyway, okay, so man, alcohol, it was just a part of me that it started young. And I don't want to really go back to all the adolescence and then being a teenager, but I think we all carry I wouldn't call it trauma, I would call them like we all carry these journey and the stories within our head, and then we find ways to cope, and the coping is good, it works, it's great, but then it becomes troublesome, it becomes so um so emotional and nerve-wracking that you feel that you need this substance for you to feel a certain way. And so I always had for me it was alcohol, that I was like, man, it's so easy, just like shut it down. And for some people it's pot, for some people, gosh, it's, I don't know, maybe cocaine to go and get up, waking up and go to surgeries.
Mhm.
For some people is uh different drugs, and there's nothing that we don't say. We are human animals, and we do things, and we just do it because it helps us for a moment. But at the end of it is having a true um identity that you want to become. Because I asked myself at the age of 31, 32, remember how I said I built my practice from a scratch, and then all the shit that came with it, and the building the lab, and then the teaching
Mhm.
and the research and the online Instagram, and then I was like, you know what? This is just so much. And so, how many years am I going to be alive in order to really enjoy this? And is this sustainable? And so, there was an app back then that showed you took a picture of yourself and it showed how you would look like in about 20 years.
Right.
And then I saw this app, and I remember looking at the app, I was like, oh my God, that is just like me, a little like older. And then what, if I look at that person right now, what would I want that who do I want that person to be like? Who do I want that person to be looking back at me right now? And is there something that I need to learn to be like, I want to, so example, what I need to make some changes to become that identity, to make myself be that. And so I made the one of the hardest decision again is just to see like, let's quit. And I quit. for a month, Adam. I quit for a month of August of 2019 because I wanted to show myself how powerful and strong I am, that I could say no to alcohol. But because I made that deal for 1 month, I weighed it in a way that I was like, there's going to be a 29, 28 days, 27 days. It wasn't as big of a deal because I was just trying to make myself prove I can do this. So yeah, 30 days gone. I actually, in that 30 days, I met with some crazy cool people, and they were all like having drinks. I was in a lot of dental meetings with some of the CEOs of big companies, and they were offering me champagnes, and I was like, no, not this month. I'm not. I'm not. So it was a little hard, but then at the end, September came, and I'm like, you know what? September 1, I'm like, I'm okay. September 2, maybe one beer. It don't hurt nobody. Next thing you know, it's October, and I am going back to my daily drinking.
Yeah.
And so October goes, and then November comes, and then those months you also kind of go a little depressed based on the daylight, the nights,
Right.
timing, and everything that happens. And I'm like, I missed a big family get together, family meeting at 4 o'clock. It was 4 o'clock. We were all supposed to be, and this is the first time, Adam, I'm sharing this on it, and this is like a very private thing, but I'm sharing this because I think maybe some people will listen to this that could help them, that resonates. But if
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
help that one person that's hearing this, because I never shared this publicly, but I came from work around 1 Friday, tired, exhausted. I did my arch, had a great week, and now I come home and there was, I never forget, it was Evan Williams whiskey at my house in the pantry. And I come home, and my mom and my brother all texted, and they're like, "Hey, we all meeting at 4 or 5 in my mom's house." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So it's around 2 or 3, and I keep looking at that whiskey. And I'm like, you know what? I could just do a little chug, or just maybe a shot, and then head over.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, I just go over there. Maybe I drink over there if I want to. And so I kept going back and forth. And the reason I'm sharing this is because these are all the thoughts that I know some people experience,
That's right.
that I want to go back. Do I want to do this? And then it's in your head. You keep wanting to go back, and you're like, okay. So finally, I grabbed Evan Williams, and then I just poured a shot. And then that was not the only shot. I took another shot. And next thing you know, Adam, again, it's just with some embarrassment and shame, and looking back, but it's just emotional to talk about it. I woke up Saturday at 11 morning,
Mm,
and I missed a meeting. I missed a family get together, and the bottle was gone. And that morning at 11, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, this is it. This is enough. I
yeah.
can't move on. And so I'm sharing this because that was the last day. I guess this Friday was the last day that I had my drink, and I was like, this is not for me. And
Yeah.
so I made that decision, and I am thinking up to now it is one of the best decisions of my life back in 2019. And everything else kind of took over from there. Things happened, and good things happened, and I am so grateful that I was privileged to have a good family, good friends, and good people surrounding me. I was able to do this without the help of going to AA meetings and other things, because I know there are other sources out there.
You were talking about, and there's things you could do. There's AA, and that last drink you had, and the blackout for a day. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have, I know I've been there. I mean, a lot of people have been there, especially in high level, stressful jobs, right? Um,
Mhm.
it's tremendous that, I mean, that you came clean on social media a couple of months ago. I remember you had a post in there. Do you remember when it was?
Yeah, I posted it. It happened in November. Is when every November I recognize this is 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and when it turned to 3 years, Adam, I was like, I want to make a video. Maybe I can help somebody. And
Hmm.
then I was like, oh, and it didn't happen. The fourth year didn't happen. Fifth year, this year I was like, you know what? I don't care. Let's just record. And then so we recorded it in December, and we posted it early December. I feel like
Hmm.
after 6 year anniversary, and I thought. again, I did my whole intention of my Instagram is that if I can help anybody in this planet that is watching and that can resonate with some of these, we are humans. We go through phases, and if you can live and learn and be able to be a better version of yourself, then
Hmm.
that's all you can do. There are people that fall apart and do this, and again, I'm grateful that and thank God that I was able to keep up. It wasn't easy because there's so many things happened too after that. I was like, man, I'm just craving.
Yeah.
But no, when you and the reason I said all that identity stuff at the beginning is that now that you made this decision, you have created a different version of your identity, but that this identity
Right.
is not going to do certain things. It's not just alcohol. It's there are certain things that you value yourself, and you give yourself that determination and the strength that, hey, this me cheating, this me lying is does not go with my identity that I want to have. And if that doesn't go, then don't do it.
Hmm.
So I think I use that alcohol in a way to allow me to become a better version by just making a little bit of a changes here and there and becoming more aware.
When bone is limited, excuses don't cut it. Core Anchorage teaches remote anchorage, zygomatics, pterygoids, advanced fixation strategies for complex full arch cases. Expand your indications, treat more patients, increase predictability. May 15th through the 17th with live surgery and cadaver exercises. Register today.
I guess at the end of it, it's all being aware that, hey, there are things that I need to change to become that person 20 years from now, looking back. If I am lucky enough to be 20 years, lived long enough to be 20 years,
Right.
having lost my dad at the age of 46, I grew up without a father, with my single mom. At 37, she lost her husband. My dad was 46 when he passed, and so my mom raised me at 2, my brother at 12, and my sister at 10 in
Hmm.
Tehran.
Hmm.
And I am fortunate, lucky to have that mother that played two roles of being a mother and a dad when I needed. And so I learned so much by just having her being a model, by looking at my brother being a bigger brother and a dad in a way, and my sister. So I had such good loved ones around me that I could not let them down. I was just like, man, this is sad. I can't go. And those were all those blackouts that I mentioned. Was not the only blackout. I've had so many blackouts in the dental school and getting out, and but that was I was, you know how you said in your 20s you make mistake. Those were my late 20s where I was like, no, my 30s, let me be a different pay rate. Let me be a different version of myself. And that was my 32. I made that decision. I For anybody who is in their 40, I think it does not matter that age. You just want to set your plan and change. If you're 45, if you're 55, if you're 60, you
Yeah.
got different phase. I tell my patients that are a little older in their 60s and they're trying to quit. And I'm like, don't you want to be around for your grandkids? Look at your grandkids outside. Don't
Yeah.
you want to be around? So look at you smoking, you got diabetes, you got hypertension. How long do you think you're going to be around?
Yeah.
And so find the why, that why is it that you want to be? And if it's that grandkid because you're wanting these teeth for her, then don't be fucking smoking.
Yeah. For me, and it's not just do you want to be around in 20 years, but do you want to be around today? Do you want to be today? We talk about the presence of
Yeah.
sobriety. Like, do you want to be present today? And which version of you do you want to be? Do you want to be the drunken, aloof, crazy, funny, but you don't even know you're
Yeah.
there kind of guy? Or do you want to be the Peyray now, where
Yeah.
you're actually in the room? Because I mean, I can see it. The sky is bluer, the clouds are whiter, everything's just more clear.
Yeah.
And not just not just in your head, but for the people that are looking at you around you. I mean, you're
Yeah.
truly a gift to the people around you, more so now than you were, 6 years ago.
Absolutely. I feel like I became a better brother, a better doctor. That was
Hmm.
one thing that, dude. I mean, I'm not bullshitting. Maybe yes, it is years of practice, but dude, my surgery skills, my clinical work, because I take pictures obviously of every single thing, and I was like, man, it is getting better because now I'm not cloudy. I am not. I'm in here. I want
Oh,
to do this, and then so there's this cascade effect that I call that. This it just keeps going, and then because the positives of it is so much better than the negative of not drinking, and
mhm.
so I was just like, you know what, I don't even think about it anymore. I mean, it's so funny with my wife now. It's funny to say wife after 2 months of being married. I always call fiance and my girlfriend, but um we used to go to bars because she decided to not drink after a year of dating. She's like, you know what, there's no point of me drinking and you don't, you just watch me. And I had no problem because you could have anybody drink around me and I'm fine because I'm having my that's me. And so she decided to quit, and we go to these fancy restaurants and all these cool places, but we don't have reservation. Where do we end up? In the bar. And so like we're hanging out with a bunch of drunk guys, and then
Uh,
we're just eating food and having mocktails. Which, to be honest with you, one thing that I'm loving about Gen Z, as much as there's so many things I hate about them, the one thing I love about them is that they don't drink as much. Well, of course they vape and do all other stuff, but
yeah,
they're not as drinkers as much as
yeah,
millennials and maybe boomers.
yeah. No, I think I absolutely agree. Sometimes you get a little bit more of the harder stuff, uh, you know.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, again,
Uh,
there's nothing. I mean, no. But when it comes to, because there was $800 billion loss in the alcohol industry last year.
no kidding.
Um,
That's great
eight-
news.
800
Yeah.
800 billion, and the main reason was the drinking age. They were projecting them to be drinking this much, and they found out that yeah, they're not. They are they're back vaping or
Yeah. Well, I think that there is more power in other drugs. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it there.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, alcohol
yeah,
is one that I'd be okay if it didn't hit the shelves anymore, or maybe wasn't so easy
yeah.
to get for sure.
It is. It is.
So, yeah, Tehran. You brought up
Yeah.
your mom. You brought up your parents in Tehran. I know these are tough times for you,
Oh man, it
for
is so
family.
bad.
Yeah.
It is so sad.
Do you want to comment? Do you want to go there?
Well, I mean, I would love that opportunity if you allow me. I actually I'm grateful if since you brought it up, is that
I would love to hear.
unfortunately there's not a lot of voice. There's a lot of people that on both sides that were and I don't want to take sides. I don't want to say right and left, but there was so many people that were so against killing when it was happening in different parts of the world. And I'm not going to mention where, but when you're watching some of these stuff in Iran and they're just now shutting their mouth, they're not mentioning a single thing. When a few months ago it was all on the news about another country because that had other purposes. But when it comes to Iran, unfortunately, there's not enough people that are talking about it other than really mainly mostly Iranians that have exiled like us, about
Mhm.
10 million of us. It's so funny that's really the population of Iran right now is about 90, and about 10 million are outside of Iran living in America, mostly in Australia, Europe and Canada. And it is the regime that came to power about 47 years ago, and they used the religion of Islam in a way to portray their ideology and their hatred against infidels and Americans and the Israel and the Jews, and it was just that hate that was their message. And unfortunately that got mixed up with a lot of these people that are now so against Islam, and there are other parts that are so against the Jews and Christians. It's not the religion, it's the way that these some of these people are interpreting them
Mhm.
for their own good, for their own power to stay remain in power. There right now, man, there's about 50, 60,000 people died because they just shut down the internet and start shooting people. And I was just so devastated by seeing, unfortunately, some of these videos. And I was like, man, my heart goes out. And I'm not saying I did not put a lot of message before when it came to politics, and because it was not, again, regarding my home land of Iran. And I didn't, I mean, this is where I was born. Now I'm seeing my people dying, and they're just peacefully protesting, and they're in the country, and it is sad, man. I just hope that Trump will stay being very firm with that regime, because you don't negotiate with the people that have done us so bad in
Yeah.
so many years, and that you're still doing it. And I think today they had a meeting in Oman, which it's the same shit, man. If that Islamic regime stay in power, there are more proxies, more terrorism out in that region, and more hate.
Mhm.
And if you don't cut that from the base and get rid of them, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
47 years is a long time.
Oh, no, no. I mean, my heart goes out to you and to Iranians everywhere, that have family there suffering. I mean, I've seen it on. I know the mainstream media won't cover it. They won't show, 50 to 100,000 people being killed in the streets. For whatever reason, they don't show it. I don't understand. But it's tragedy. I agree. I agree. It's not really religion. I mean, you see humans they took Islam in Iran in 1979 and they used it for their own good. And you'll see Christians
Yeah.
do it as well. You'll see it in different religions. People bend it for their own will. But the
It's
people
just
of
right now,
Iran,
it's just a human rights. It's like there are
yeah,
certain ways that human rights is like to kill a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old.
hmm,
It's your own people, and you're getting Iraqi militia and Afghanistan, some of these and because a lot of these people are not speaking Farsi, and they're just shooting and running over. I saw it driving, they're just driving over people. And so
Mhm.
it's crazy to see so many young girls, so many women this time, or more, I feel like more women than even guys. And that tells you something, where these powerful women are protesting with no guns, and they are
Right.
shooting them down, and then they shut down the internet for people to not see, and then they get it turned back on, and then they're like, okay, now let's make a deal. I mean, a deal for the folks that just killed their own people. Do you
Yeah.
think for a second, if they do that with their own people, how quickly they're going to turn around and do it to other countries?
oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean, just think about it.
There,
It's just
there's
so
an
sad, man.
it's an evil. There's an evil in the world, and
Yeah.
I do think that this is the time. And for right or left, red or blue, I mean, Trump looks like he's ready to take on the evil. And I know that there are political and budgetary things beyond our control and scope, but
And I'm with you. And that's the thing, where I feel like if Trump really, I mean, he's done many great things for the past, this second term, so good, that if you're saying to these people to go and protest, the help is on the way. And these people are going out and killing, and then
Yeah.
like they're dying because of that message you send on Truth Social, and then back down and not through with it. You got blood on your, like, there are so many. I get the
Yeah.
budget, but budget was there when you told them to go there. Like, there is so
Yeah.
much that is like a contradictory. But also, here's the thing, that these people that have had their kids taken away and died, they don't know where they are. They don't tell them their dead bodies. After they find out where their dead bodies are, if they come through, they say, you got to pay for the bullets that we wasted on these people. And so now you pay $800. And people think I'm bullshitting when I say this. They are asking for the cost of bullets, because this is how much we had to waste on your son and your daughter. And now they
Mm.
are, if they don't have the money of $800, when it comes sometimes 2 grand, 3 grand. Now what you do is that you say that these people, if you don't have the money, there's another deal we made for you. You say they are Basijis, or they are part of they are part of the Islamic regime, that they are died. So now we can get our numbers up. It is just such a insanity in 2026, and that's why there's 150,000 people protesting in Toronto. You got 150,000 in LA, in Sydney. Like, these are Iranians exile that are just going out. We had some events here in Nashville that I actually went, but God, it's just sad to see that this is happening. But at the end of the day, I hope that this regime by the end of this year, man, I hope it just they go away and they
Yeah.
just yeah, that's all
It,
I can say.
It is so incredibly oppressive, uh, tragic, homicidal, even. But even to
Yeah.
think about when this wasn't even going on, when you said it'll cost you $800 a bullet to get back your loved one and kin, and I think I've read the average Iranian makes about $150 a month or $200 a month.
Oh yeah, less than
Uh,
that. Yeah.
yeah, is that average or something? I've heard.
Dude,
So
it's like right now a dollar because of the currency. Because a lot of people were like, why? Well, if they don't want to die, why are they in the street? Well, they're in the street because they have 4 jobs
mhm,
and they still cannot eat meat.
right,
And they
yeah,
still cannot go because you guys have put sanctions on the country. You guys, Iranian regime has done taken all that oil money, all the money from the resource, because Iran is a very, very resourceful country when it comes to minerals, gas, and oil. And where is this money going? For that ideology to fund the terrorism.
right,
And when that happens, of course you're going to get sanctions. So the sanctions come, and who is going to hurt? Not the
yeah,
regime.
no,
The regime is going to have that money because they keep 10%, 15%, but everything else goes to China and Russia and all these terrorism groups. I'm not calling Chinese terrorism, but I'm just saying they're getting free oil, they're getting free gas, they're getting transportation. But at the end, the people are protesting because they're doctors, and dude, man, they killed so many doctors in the hospital for treating these people. I saw some oral surgeon friends. I taught a course in Dubai last year, and I met some of my Persian doctor friends and dentists that came to Dubai for my course, and I talked to them. Dude, they are legit killing doctors and executing them and killing them in jail. They don't call them execution anymore because Trump said do not execute. And Trump thinks that he actually stopped the execution. So what they're doing now, they're killing them in jail, just killing them. And then a few days later, they say they died from the wounds. So what is happening is some of the surgeons are dying because they tweeted that, hey, I can treat you in my house for any wounds that you got in your mouth or body, and they are now hanging those people. I mean, just think about it, the
mm.
insanity that goes with it is crazy.
It's where does all this evil come from, and what is it going to take to stop it? You know, I mean, I think talking about it, I think turning the internet back on and letting people see is going to play a big part in this for
They don't
sure.
do it though. They have it short, limited time. That is like the bandwidth is so low, and as soon as they talk, they get a minute on the phone when they call outside. After a minute, it shuts down. They control. Look, it's a legit North Korea in a different way. But oh well, I don't want to take this time, but I'm very grateful for you to ask me about it because this was not on the agenda or anything I pictured. But
Well,
I'm very thankful for being able to talk about it.
no, well, for one, I don't come to these. We didn't script this. I don't come with any pod
Yeah.
script. I like the conversation to be authentic, but two, I think that if we're gonna fight evil, I think that we need to put the information out there, the truth out there. And if, mainstream media is gonna basically sanction the message and they're not gonna let the message get out, I think it's important that
Yeah.
people like you have a voice. So I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
because I think it is the truth. I know. I'll say this, having been a product of a child that grew up in the 80s in the USA, I mean, with everything that happened in 1979, we were sort of in the Cold War going on. We were sort of
Yeah.
trained to think that Iran was the enemy, and it's not really the people of Iran; it's the regime of Iran. And I think it took me probably 20 years to get those beliefs out of my head from what I learned in grade school. That it's not this whole geographic country; it's a very
Yeah.
small amount of people in that country that are creating problems. And from what I've learned ever since, I don't
Yeah,
know, the mid 90s, every Iranian I ever met, nothing but kind, educated. I mean, it is Western culture as far as I understand it. And it's a good people that
it
are
is. And
suffering in there. And you just
mhm,
can't lump, if there's one thing I've learned on this earth, you just can't lump groups of people under
mhm,
labels. In fact, I wish there were no labels at all. I mean, if we were just all earthlings, we wouldn't have a reason to hate the people that live in the borough next door. You know, it,
exactly.
if we
Yeah.
weren't, from Americans and Iranians and Christians and Jews, there probably wouldn't be as much war. I mean, and problems
No,
and
it's
conflicts and feuds. Uh,
You're so right. I think the Marco Rubio said it 2 days ago that he has not met any other country. This is legit. His statements that there's no other country in the world that the regime and the people are so different than the country of Iran, because everybody thinks that Iranians are a little bit, because of it gets mixed up, right? We don't know much geography, so like Iraq and other countries in the region are becoming they're all from there. But the thing is that I'm not saying Iranians are better by any means at all. But what I do say that they are different than in a way that they came from 2,500 years ago
mhm.
civilization, that this was Islam was not the religion in Iran until it became on them, and after the wars. The actual religion of Iranians are Zoroastrians. It's 3,500 years old. It's a different religion, and so people of Iran are not representing a single thing that that regime represents, and that's the one thing that I'm glad that you brought it up, because a lot of people unfortunately miss that and think that they're the same. It is absolutely different.
No, absolutely. Very
Yeah.
good people as far as everyone I've ever met. Very wholesome,
Thank
very
you.
kind, very,
Yeah.
compassionate people, very educated, high level contributors to society for sure. And, all around people, I mean, like, I'd be happy to have them as my neighbors, like, come on, move
Yeah.
in, let's come to Virginia Beach. I'm glad you got a
Thank
chance
you.
to voice that because I know that it probably you wake up in the morning and you go to bed at night. And I know you probably feel that right there in your chest,
Yeah.
that sadness.
Oh, yeah. It
Yeah.
is. But let's turn this around, and hopefully, again, we can all just hope that, wish that the regime will change. Maybe the Reza Shah, we have another, the exiled prince that could come in and hopefully take over. But again, it's so many, whenever there's a war and revolution, you don't know what's going to happen after. So I'm just hoping the best thing that could happen is for the people of the region, and for the peace in the Middle East, that
Yeah.
regime would not stay there any longer than he has. But yeah, thank you for the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I pray and hope that you're right. I'm fully on your side, brother. I mean, whatever involves less people getting senselessly murdered, I'm for that policy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Buddy, I don't know that we can take it to a more important topic after that.
I know, right? This is good. We should definitely do this in a setting where we get together and
Yeah.
talk about anything. I mean, again, I'm all open book. I am
Yeah.
all for it.
Well, let's do, I mean, for you, for sure. When I get to Nashville with the AEID, I'm going to
Oh
sit down
yeah.
with a few people like you. Well, if we don't
Yes.
get together sooner, well, tell me as we wrap things up, tell me where can I find Peyray speaking this year? Tell me about you have a group, the influential, what's it called? The,
Oh, the DIA. Yeah. So we
yeah,
put a little pause right now for the DIA, but the crash courses right now, I started to think about a lot of these people that are they don't want to spend 20 grand and 10,000, go to Guatemala or Mexico or Arizona or wherever to just do hands-on. And they are interested to learn about digital workflow, and they don't want to spend that much, but in just such a short, quick 1 day crash course why don't I put it together and give them what it looks like to own a practice that is all full arch and everything that relates to the being marketing, taking the patients in, getting the patient set up to do the consultation, to set them up and prosthetically treatment plan them, and then do the surgery and the lab. So I thought to bring all of it into one day crash course. So I would love for any of your listeners that are listening and is interested to come to one of those. The first one this year is in Nashville. Then they are in Los Angeles, Dallas, and New York. I have 4 planned in the month of April and March. And then if they go on drpeyray.com, they could see it. Dr. Pay or my Instagram link in the bio. And so those are the ways they can access and come in and we'll have fun. I think I made a code for any listeners that are listening to this. Since the early bird is gone for Nashville, I made a link that, or the code is called late bird. Late bird, just one word. If they want to come to Nashville, they can still get the early pricing. But for the other cities, they're all right now all early pricing. They don't need a coupon code because it's already heavily discounted. So would love to have anybody that listens to this to come in and have fun.
And I'll say drpeyray.com, code LateBird for the upcoming one. But yeah, you don't, I mean, discounts to hear an educator like you, I was on a pod earlier this month and I listened to a couple educators talk about educating and things they have coming up. And they haven't been practicing nearly as long. They don't do nearly the volume. They don't do zygos, they don't do pterygoids. They don't know what it's like to build a lab. And, to hear people talk about the cost of education, for any of the listeners out there, you should be paying double whatever Peyray wants to charge you to go hear Peyray talk. Because I've heard you talk and it's profoundly motivating. I mean, you definitely command a stage and a presence.
I appreciate you. No, thank you. It's $1,000. I tell $1,200. I made it again. Super simple. You get 8 hours CE because my intention was not to necessarily make that money in order to do anything crazy with it. I have one person in my payroll. What I do with that is that I felt like that impacting some of these doctors to get excited. Maybe they can see the digital workflow. Then they come to places like yours that you have the more continuum education, especially with your marketing and the business part. And there are so many other courses. Because again, as you said, there's so many courses out there, but you don't have to necessarily think that one is better than the other. Just go and figure out what's good. But I thought this one, let's just make it $1,200. And if they want to come in, it's one day, Friday, Saturday, have fun.
This episode of the All In, All NX pod is powered by JB Dental Lab, your full arch lab partner for predictable, beautiful, and digitally precise results. From provisional same-day conversions to final zirconia, JB delivers consistency, communication, and craftsmanship that elevate your practice. The proprietary case portal keeps your team connected with quick communication and real-time updates, while their in-house designers and comprehensive full arch services ensure precision from conversion to final zirconia. If you're looking to grow your skills, JB's Educational Center hosts hands-on courses with live surgeries. Ready to streamline your All NX workflow with a lab that truly understands the surgical and prosthetic connection? Visit jbdentallab.com and tell them the All In, All NX pod sent you. Thanks for listening.
It'll come back to you, my friend, on that. Well, I'll take this opportunity to invite you to anything that you want to come see at the Atlantic Implant Institute.
Yes.
Yes, please come spend some time with us.
You have some great guests. I love whenever I saw some of the speakers you have. And my good buddy Keith Claus is one of the great. Yeah, I love that guy.
Keith, and Keith, Athena Godarzi, Brandon Cofer, Keith Klaus, Alex Wynn, Juan Gonzalez has been there, Sam Jarek.
Nice.
I don't want to leave anybody out, but Danny Domingue has been up here. A lot of great. I just want to surround myself with people that are better than I am.
No, it's good. It's not. We are all so different. That's why it's so fun because we all have different treatment plan. Maybe for certain cases, we do zygos differently. We do pterygoids differently. We have I don't know, some people like 5, some people 4. So it's all fun when it comes together, and they hear this is your way, this is their way,
Yep.
and just it's a toolbox. Take it and use it how you like it.
Absolutely. I think your brain is a toolbox. People need to come take advantage of it.
Appreciate it, man. Well, it was a great talking, and thank you again for the invite.
Yeah.
It's been a great Friday morning. I'm ready to. This is like gave me the energy to get up and now do some work.
I want to thank you for the, literally, as they say from the bottom of my heart. I mean, the genuine authenticity that you are,
Thank
it
you.
just embodies realness and greatness. I think the world needs more of that. I think that's what this podcast, and that's what I'm all about. I'm not about people, sparing people's feelings and their thoughts. I just want
Sure.
to put the truth out there and lay it on the table. I think you're the same way. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to do more with you in the future for sure. And I love watching you
100%.
grow. And
Thank
I'm
you.
always going to be envious of your reels, and however you do all that, that's absolutely phenomenal. Superhero brain of yours. I love watching
Thank
you
you.
succeed, man. I love it.
Thank you. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. And I would love to, yes, when you come to Nashville AID, for people that are listening, come AID Nashville this year. Have fun. It's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm actually on the committee. I'm reviewing abstracts right now. I've got about
Awesome.
50 in my inbox to look at for speakers, and there's a whole slew of us. I'm looking
That's
at the
good.
abstracts, and these speakers are amazing, and the topic that they want to put out.
I
So
actually I sent my abstract, so maybe look at that to see what do you think about the title. This
if I see it, I will definitely be
yeah.
putting that on, my friend, because I want to see you talk about anything.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Means a lot.
Thanks for sharing your time with me this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite, and looking forward to get this and rolling after this.
Probably, yeah, we have a couple breaks, but it's not a big deal. All right. Well, I hope I see you before Nashville. Okay. Have a
Yes.
great day.
Yes. Cheers, brother.
Hey, if today's conversation resonated with you and you're looking to sharpen not just your technique, but your judgment, your discipline, and your long-term vision, then this is exactly why we built the Atlantic Implant Institute. This is not just some weekend course or module. This is not just some highlight reel. This is not just some collection of disconnected modules. This is the core continuum for education and full arch workflow. It begins with Module 1, Core Bootcamp Fundamentals, where we establish surgical foundations, diagnostic discipline, and repeatable decision-making under real-world pressure. And then it continues with Module 2, Advanced Prosthetics and Full Digital Workflow, where occlusion, vertical dimension, aesthetics, condyles, and execution all converge. And then we have Module 3, which tackles remote anchorage, pterygoids, zygomatics, complex anatomy, taught through biomechanics, planning for predictable outcomes. We also teach FP1 philosophy, not just FP3 solutions. And after the continuum, we have modules in FP1 fixed immediate load and also business, how to 5. This is business, leadership, and operational strategy so that you can build surgically what actually works in practical business. If you're ready to go into full arch dentistry with intention, structure, accountability, and purpose, you can learn more at theatlanticImplantInstitute.com.